What was it like to work on Mad TV?
Mad TV was two of the greatest, most creative and challenging and fun years of my life. And I was on the show for 5. Yes, you all the way, you back there. Yes.
I told you on Facebook, you're the only reason I watched Spider-Man 2.
Wow. I don't know what that says about you and your time management. I'm gonna spend 2 hours for 38 seconds of enjoyment.
Perfect.
Come on, that whole train fight sequence is one of the best sequences in motion pictures.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you go back and watch Spider-Man 2, that fight on the train where Doc Ock and Spider-Man are fighting in and out and on top of him. It's funny because when we were shooting it, we spent about 2 weeks on this stage at the Sony Studios, and John Dykstra was the special effects head, and he has like a couple of Oscars. But what we were shooting seemed really low tech. Like, in fact, when we were inside the train, to make it rock back and forth, they had a bunch of like crew guys on a big log, pushing up and down to make it rock back and forth. I'm like, oh, that's pretty low tech, I guess. And I turned to John Dykstra as he was walking by. It's like, oh, I guess this is sort of an easy scene for you, huh? It's like, well, no, not really. I have to create all of New York. And then I looked up and I realized that the 3-story high soundstage that we were in was entirely green screened. And his job was going to be to put in the city of New York rushing by in the windows at 120 miles an hour for the entire length of the fight scene. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that. I couldn't do that. That's probably going to be hard. Just good luck. Yes.
I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of your work in Metal Gear Solid as a character Vamp, and
Thank you.
I think that's one of the coolest voices I've ever heard. Is there ever going to be a revival of that character that you're going to be working on in the future?
Especially with video games, the American voice actors are the last to know. I mean, whoa, there we go. This always happens. Because they actually record the Japanese actors first, and after they've written the script. So there's a whole lot of stuff they do before they ever get to us. So I have no idea. That would be great. I would love anytime they want me to do it. I would be happy to.
Because when I heard it was you who did the voice, I was like, wow, really? Phil Lamarr from Mad TV? Wow.
Yeah. My queen.
Oh my
You will not
God.
believe what I found. Well, 5 today, or rather, 6.
What was it like filming Pulp Fiction?
Why is that funny? I think that's a very legitimate question. It was short. No. No, it was a lot of fun. It was, I mean, to this day, the best set I've been on. I mean, everybody was acted well, treated well. I mean, because a lot of times you can get into a hierarchy on set, especially when you have big stars like they did on that movie. And everybody, can get wrapped up in who's better than who, and you saw none of that. I came on to the shoot about a little more than 2/3 of the way through the 3-month shoot. They had maybe a month, 3 weeks left when I started. And usually by that time, people are done with each other. It's like, all right, that's it. But this crew was still, every Friday at wrap time, they would pass out flyers saying, this is where we're going drinking, and everybody would go, including John Travolta, or whoever it was that was shooting. Yeah, it was a dream. I mean, the script was so good. I didn't really know that it would be as successful as it was, but I knew it was going to be amazing. Because, you know, sometimes the amazing stuff doesn't make all that much money. And then sometimes it makes $100 million. Yes?
Did John Travolta ever hit on you on set?
No. Girl in the back?
Hi, I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan too. With the character fan, you were kind of a master for killing a teenage girl. So did you have to do any special preparations for the voice? Like, did you have to study or do anything like that? Because the voice is very heavily Romanian, and it's very good. I didn't even know it was you. I was very shocked when I looked at it. Like, is it Mad TV? I just want to know, did you have to do any special preparation for the voice?
No. I mean, I've always done accents ever since I was a kid, and that one, it's interesting that you thought of it as Romanian, because the direction I was given was, we want him to sound Eastern European, but nothing specific. Like, they didn't want him, like, there was no specific country that Vamp was from, but they wanted it to have that feel. And no, I mean, in terms of, I mean, the good thing about it is it's not a voice that hurts, you know, although at the beginning it was actually sort of a challenge to keep that vocal placement, because it was very much in the back of the throat, and I tried to keep as little oxygen going through my vocal cords as possible. But yeah, no, other than that, no real special preparation.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, Gauntlet.
I'm a really big fan of Samurai Jack. I just want to say that. We're amazing in the show. I just want to know, what was it like working on the show, and what was it like working with Mako?
Yes, what was it like working on Samurai Jack? For those who can't hear, and I'm sure that's like just a soundtrack too. It's not even the actual concert. Samurai Jack was a really fun experience. Not a lot of heavy lifting vocally on my part. Remember when I auditioned, Gendy Tartakovsky just kept saying, "Oh, that's good, less, even less." I am going, no, less. I am going to, less. I am going, there you go. Yeah, he was completely unflappable. He never got excited, yeah, almost never. But yes, everything was always very calm. I see, do not worry. We will defeat Aku. And Mako, actually, it was interesting because we would sort of come in and out and do we did most of our episodes together. Most of the ones, you know, there were many that didn't have Aku in them, but usually when he was there, I was there. And he was just effortless, you know, and he would do that laugh, and you kept thinking it was gonna stop. It's like, he must be out of breath by now. It just kept going. And we would be sitting there looking at each other going, oh my God, that's hilarious. He actually taught me something, because I used to think that voice acting was about changing your voice, you know, and like being completely unrecognizable. You know, I didn't even know that was you. Thank you. That's what I was going for. And he, of course, had an incredibly distinctive voice. I mean, everything from his texture to his accent to everything was very Mako. And then there was one episode where they cast him as another character, in addition to Aku. And I'm like, does this character turn into Aku? Because he kind of got a recognizable sound, you know? I don't know if anybody noticed that over the last 2 seasons. And they said, no. I'm like, all right. And I thought for sure that they were going to have to re-record it after he left or something like that. And then what he did was, he took the character, the other character he was playing, and he didn't really, like he didn't take all the gravel out of his voice or anything, but he approached the character from a completely different point of view than he approached Aku. And even though it was still his voice, it still had all the text, he put it up higher, and he acted that shit so well that when you look at that episode, you don't know it's him. Even though it's that same guy with that voice, and when somebody tells you, oh yeah, that's Mako, you're like, oh right, I hear it. But if you don't know, you can't tell.